Oh no, it's Mark.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing you another exciting video. So, I've seen a lot of leaks and rumors regarding Soul Calibur 6 floating around, and I try to only cover the ones that seem legitimate on my channel, so as not to cause any confusion or chaos within the community. So I pretty much stick to Reddit and leakers that I know have been truthful in the past and have had things come to fruition. Today's episode is going to be a bit different because I'm going to go into two different leaks that I've seen being predominantly thrown around the internet and used, and whether I think there's any credibility or credence to them. So let's jump into this first one right here. This first rumor is regarding the DLC characters that are supposed to be in it, and the first thing that I see off the bat that kind of throws me off guard and makes me a little uneasy about believing this rumor is that it's from a user on 4chan, and they're known to pretty much not be right ever. So, getting into this, he's talking about how there's going to be exclusives for DLC characters per each system, just like they kind of did with Soul Calibur 2. Personally, I don't believe there's going to be any exclusives. I think it's going to be a one guest character situation, possibly two, and that's going to be across the board. And I'll put it on the board so you guys can see it here, but you can make up your own minds. But if any of you feel I'm trustworthy, then it's important to pay attention to what I'm saying. So he thinks that the Hunter from Bloodborne will be the PlayStation 4 exclusive. He thinks that Jago from Killer Instinct is going to be the Xbox One and PC exclusive. And he also says that they're going to, this is a pretty bold claim, they're going to announce Fire Emblem, they're going to announce the Switch version of Soul Calibur 6 at E3 this year, and claims that Lucchino from Fire Emblem is going to be the Switch exclusive character. A lot of people have been gaining credibility on this notion as two of the fighters that were just released, to Solomel and Ivy, he purported to be on his initial roster leak list, so that's why people are giving this one more credence. But I would respectfully ask people to just hold off a bit before like sharing this stuff around. The Hunter from Bloodborne, I would say, does kind of seem like it would be a good exclusive character, but the thing is that, and I know I've said this in the past, they usually make these cross deals with characters that like have something important upcoming as a promotional thing. Just like the Force Unleashed was coming out, so they wanted to use Star Killer on Soul Calibur 4. But they did have exclusive characters. That they had Darth Vader on the PS3, and they had Yoda on the Xbox, and eventually you could get both of them, whichever character you didn't have, through DLC. I think it was like $5. So there is a little bit of credence towards exclusive characters, but like I said, the whole thing about the Switch coming out, like being announced at E3, we've seen interviews already, and at least in two of them they said that the game has been in development for years before the Switch was even a thing. So they said they have it's not a priority for them right now to make a Switch version at this time. So what I think is they're going to release the game in 2018, probably around like May, June. And then after they finish getting the initial roundabouts for this game, like maybe when the DLC comes out, I think they're going to immediately start working on a Switch port. But I don't think we're going to see that until like maybe 2019, maybe fall. So I don't think it's going to release with the other consoles. So that being said, if they do have a exclusive character, it would only be for the Xbox and PlayStation ports. There's not going to be, they're not going to release the game and then say, oh, by the way, like Lucchino is coming out from Fire Emblem, but she's going to release exclusively on the Switch whenever that comes out. It's not going to happen. So to me, just the whole mentioning of the Switch thing like throws this whole thing under the water. Killer Instinct's Jago, again, on the Xbox One, like, the main problem I'm having with this guy and his leaks is that, like, none of these characters have anything important going on right now. There's no promotional necessity to have them in the game to sell any future iteration of whatever games that are releasing. There's no Bloodborne 2 coming out yet that they need to promote for. There's no, like, Killer Instinct is like a free-to-play game, and I don't think they need to promote that anyway. It's like their mainstay ship fighter on the Xbox, but I don't think they would even, like, choose someone from Killer Instinct, if you want my honest opinion. Now, I'm not always right, of course, like, I can be wrong, like, this is just my opinion, but I think that this rumor should just be, like, not even taken with a grain of salt. I think it should just be, like, ignored and stop being perpetuated until, like, they at least have some kind of inkling that the Switch port is coming out. And even if they did choose a character from Fire Emblem to be the Switch exclusive fighter, it's not going to be Lucchino, because that's not even from Fates, like, which is the game that was, like, what, like 2 years old at this point? That's from Awakening, which is like 5-6 years old, that game. They're not going to make a character, like the main character of a 5 or 6 year old game, like, in their new game, because it's not going to promote anything, just as with the other ones. And it wouldn't even be, like, anybody from, like, Hoshido, or it wouldn't be anyone from Fates either, because that game's already out. If they did, it would be somebody from the new mainstay of Fire Emblem that's coming out for the Switch. So, unless they're releasing any new characters to promote that, it's not going to be Lucchino either way. That's like saying it's going to be, like, Ike or something like that. They're not going to pick a character from a game that's already come and gone. That's my point. So, as far as, like, credibility goes, I'm going to give that one a 1 out of 10. So, it's pretty much, like, easily just able to be ignored. I'm sorry for whoever perpetuated this or whoever is, like, sending this around, but I personally don't have any faith in it. This next rumor is, like, also been, like, this has actually been spread around on Reddit as well. And, again, I don't know how much relevance it has, but the person who is leaking this, they have leaked correct things in the past, which is why it holds, like, a little bit more water with me. And in fact, I've used them in the past, and it's come to fruition what they've said. But they've admittedly said that the information they're getting is someone who claims to know somebody that works at Namco Bandai, and this isn't their main source. So in this leak, they actually try to corroborate with their main source, who does, like, really have somebody close in Namco Bandai. So the person that they are that they're citing here claims to have been given information that the roster is going to be 22 characters at launch, which is a little fishy because I thought it was going to be 24, with 6 more as DLC. And they admitted that their information was about a month old. And the problem with that is like, if you're trying to leak something, like, if you find information and you want to put it out there as soon as possible, you don't put month-old information out there and, like, hopes that it gets passed around, because things change. And I think he doesn't even have anyone at Namco Bandai. That whole excuse that it's a month old, personally, to me, doesn't hold any water, and just kind of gives him an out, so that if things change, he can come back and say, well, I told you it was a month old, so things can change. Like, no, I don't. I think that's just, he's just protecting himself there. It's pretty easy to see, too. If he just left that out, it'd actually hold more credibility. And he said some of the specific things about characters that were going to be included are Huang, Talim, Growl's adopted father, Frederick, Maxie's Bay, which is named Jacker. And this is where it got me here. They said that the guest character is going to be Roronoa Zoro from One Piece. That's insane. That would never happen. Like, if they did, I mean, I guess there is that new One Piece game, that open world game coming out, but even if there was going to be a guest character, and it would probably be Zoro because he's at least somewhat of a samurai, so he would fit, they're not going to... There's no way that they would put a One Piece character, like, you know how much money they'd have to pay for the rights just to even use that? I don't know, like, that's totally crap to me. Even if, like, the other information in here is good, that Roronoa Zoro thing is, like, totally not okay with me. That doesn't fly. And then he also said that 3 of the 6 DLC characters that he knew about were going to be Zoro, Zasalamel, and Cervantes. And he even gets caught in this because Zasalamel is going to be in the base roster. And he actually backtracks and says, like, well, I told you the information was a month old. So I don't even know if Namco Bandai like was originally going to make him DLC, because that was a rumor as well, and they just changed their minds, because they said in the interview when I covered with the producer of Soul Calibur, like they said the game was already around 70% done at that point. So the fact that they would just like change who's going to be in the main roster 70% of the way in through development is insane. Like right now they're pretty much just working on like tweaking and bug fixes and stuff like that. Like the game's practically done. And then he's also going into, first of all, he talked about like some of the choices with his friend, and his friend was saying that like, well, he's right about Frederick, and he's right about like some like specific things like Jacker, but I can't get over that name. And Jacker, by the way, like that does hold true, because if you read the Soul Calibur manga, there actually is someone on Maxi's crew named Jacker. So that holds a little bit more weight for me. And Frederick being the name of Gro's dad actually lends him more credence, because it makes him not so much of a mystery, because if you know, Frederick was also the name of Siegfried's father. So if Gro is in fact Frederick's son, adoptive son, then that would make him Siegfried's stepbrother, or, you know, whatever, his brother, technically, let's just say, and that would actually give him a lot of reason to be there. Maybe he's trying to secure Soul Calibur for himself to get, like, Nightmare out of him. And it could be a reason why we haven't seen Siegfried yet in any of the leaks or rumors than just Nightmare. So, I'm not sure about that, but that sounds a little bit better. But some of the confirmation that his friend gave him is that, like, he knew about Gro, which is lends credence, but he said 22 characters sounds about right, but I was under the impression that it was 24 at launch. And then he goes into talking, this is a private conversation, so he goes into talking to his source, saying like he did say that Huang had way more chance of making it in over Young Song. And while it can't be confirmed, it sounds believable, but he would just call it a rumor until anything's confirmed. And he said he feels like he has seen something about Zoro in relation to the game, but he can't say anything beyond that. Dude, I don't think that Zoro, like, I don't think like a One Piece character has anything to do with getting into the game. Even from characters they've seen in the past, like, I guess you could say like, well, I would never think a Star Wars character would be in there, but I don't know. It's just, to me, this holds more weight, but I think some of the information is good and some of the information is misinformed. Which parts, I guess we'll find out as things come. Because I tell everybody with any of these leaks or rumors, just like, it's fun to think about, but until things are confirmed, there's no way that we should confirm or deny anything at this point. But we're going to leave it up that. Drop me a comment letting me know what you think was true and what you think was not true. If you think all of it was true, or if you think it was pretty much all BS. And let's start talking about this. So that's going to be the video for today, guys. I do want to start a conversation in the comment section, so let's get one started. Follow me on any of my social media, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Peace.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching the video. If you liked the video, drop a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it, so you can grow with the channel. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed already. If you have something to say, leave it in the comment section below and we can start a conversation, or hit me up on Twitter. If there's anything else you guys need, let me know and feel free to contact me. As always, stay powered up. Peace.